Almost every month, there's a chunk of students graduating from one higher institution or the other, looking for white collar job why they don't get. That is why this program is designed to encourage small and medium scale enterprises. The name of the program is Business School on Air, and welcome to this week's episode. Today we'll be looking at plantation. I met with a young man. He's into plantation. Some might even think, okay, is it just to fly plantain and that is all? But there's a lot of things that plantain can be used for. It could be used for juice, could be used for different kinds of things. But before I take you on the interactive segment today, let's have Kuro on the business tips segment for this week.
Hello viewers, you are welcome to Business Tips on this week's episode of Business School on Air. My name is Kuro John Ngobo. I am a trainer and a business development consultant. I want to talk about something that is extremely interesting and people don't think about on a regular basis. It is about the difference between the rich people and the poor people. Now, why people? First off, it is the people who drive businesses and make businesses profitable or unprofitable. So if you do anything about businesses, you talk about businesses, you don't talk about the people, you might be getting something wrong. Now, let's come to the issue of the people and rich versus poor. First point I need to point out here is that rich or poor is a mindset. It's not in physical assets, it's not in what you have, whether you're broke or you're not broke, whether you have money in your pocket, you have a big car, or no. Rich is a mindset, poor is a mindset. So the mindset of the rich and the mindset of the poor in any business determines whether it goes far or the business dies out. What kind of things differentiate the rich mindset from the poor mindset? I'll pick a few things that come to mind very quickly, and I'll try and make them, not sound so bad. The first one is eating healthy. Now, rich people who are rich in their mindset, naturally eat healthy. They're interested in what is in the food they are eating, how many calories or how many percentage of X or Y is in it. People that are not rich in their mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not calling anybody rich or poor. I'm talking about a mindset here. Now, people who are poor in their mindset usually tend to want to eat in larger quantities without considering what goes into it. So think about this. When you were younger, this happened to me. When you went to visit a seemingly rich person in their house, they served you small portions of food and you wondered why. It used to upset me. Why would you serve me? I eat times 3 of this in my house. You guys have more money than us. Why would you give me less rice? Maybe you don't need that much carbohydrates in your body, and they know. That's why they eat less. Did you realize that later in life, when you could afford to eat anywhere, when you go to the best restaurants, the most expensive places, you don't eat a lot, not because you can't afford it, but a small portion of meal satisfies you. Eating is not to fill your tummy. And don't look at my tummy too much, I'm working on it coming down. Eating is to keep you healthy. People who have a rich mindset naturally eat better. Number 2, people who have a rich mindset tend to wake up earlier. People who don't tend to wake up later. Don't look at me funny, I might fall into any of those categories myself. You see, you wake up earlier in the day, you get more productive faster. Because the truth is, between the hours of 4 and 6 a.m., your brain works a little faster than it would do late at night, or during the day for that matter. Some people wake up early, and for the rest of the day, they are groggy and sleepy. So people have become used to it. So people who would do well at work, who would do well everywhere else, wake up earlier. They're never late, they get the job done, all of that. Number 3 is sports. You see, people who buy jerseys and do all of that and are fans, fanatic fans of soccer clubs like Chelsea, like me, or Arsenal or Barcelona, they like boxing and all of that. Check them out. The people who are fanatics at them are not people who are naturally assumed to be rich. Do you know why? The people who are really rich and they're putting their time and energy in those sports because something is coming out for them. The rest of us just buy jerseys and go and shout, hey, we are winning Champions League, Ronaldo. Those guys don't know you. You don't get anything from running around hailing them for doing well at sports. Now, people who have a rich mindset are looking for what's in it for them in anything they are doing, even at play. They play golf to meet people that will give them business. They don't play soccer, not because their bodies can't take it. Think about it. A 4th tip is personal hygiene. I noted it as bath regularly, but let's call it personal hygiene. People who have a rich mindset generally take care of themselves more. So let's ignore the perfume or the roll-on part. How often do you come across people who have mouth odor or body odor and are judged rich compared to those that are judged poor? I repeat, ignore mouth odor and body odor. How does that affect you in business? Who wants to do business with somebody who has a bad mouth odor or called halitosis, or someone has a bad body odor? Who wants to do business with you? You notice over time people begin to distance themselves from you, and you don't understand why. And you know the saddest part of those two things. People who have those things don't know they have it. And the rest of the people who know can't tell them. They take care of themselves very well. They bath regularly, shave regularly, just make sure that they generally are healthy and hygiene conscious. Think about that. And then the fifth one is watching TV. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't watch OGTV. You should. But if you stay the entire day, the entire week, every free time you have, you're on TV. You know every telenovela, you know every program, you know everybody in every soap, what their names are. You watched him when he started from when he was 10. He's 21, you're still watching him. Ask yourself, do you have more hours in a day than the rich person? No, you put out 24 hours. What do you do with your time? So watching TV is just a way to look at it. It could be watching TV, it could be playing games, it could be anything you do that keeps you in one place and is not productive for you. It's a mindset. If a rich person in his mind goes to a party, he eats what is good for his feel and he walks away. Do you know what a person who's poor in his mindset does? He eats to his feel to the point where he's constipating and he wants to take something home. Okay, so people are going to beat me up on the streets from tomorrow. But ask yourself, why would I bother want to take? Don't you have the food in your house? You do. It's a mindset. Now you take that mindset into business, affects a lot of things. So think about this. These are just 5 of the things that differentiate the rich from the poor, which we'll talk about this week. Next week, I bring you another set of things that separate you. So spend the week asking yourself, where do you fit in mindset-wise? Are you rich in your mind? Are you poor in your mind? I'll be back next week. Bye.
Like I introduced earlier on, that today we'll be looking at plantain plantation. I'm with another facilitator today. His name is Gbayo Omoyele. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
What did you study in school?
Soil science, agronomy.
Soil science, agronomy. So tell us about the plantation.
Yes, this plantation you are seeing is plantation of 2 hectares of land.
2 hectares?
Yeah.
Okay, now tell us from the scratch, what kind of soil do one has to use for this kind of farming, the breed?
Okay, the type of soil someone have to use in planting plantain should be sandy loam.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be sandy loam. Then this one we have is a local breed anyway. It's not an hybrid of plantain. It's a local breed. So as you can see, they are doing well because of the type of soil we have, which is the right kind of soil for plantain.
Like the one we have behind us, how old is that?
Yeah, it is over 6 months now. They are 6 months old now. So in the next, these tall ones I'm saying, the next 2 or 3 months, I think they will start bringing out fruit. Yeah.
So how do you, tell us about from the scratch, the land preparation,
yes,
whether you apply fertilizer?
Yeah, the land preparation, we just use tractor to harrow.
Okay.
Then after the harrowing, that is after we clear it.
So it's more mechanized?
Yeah, it's more mechanized. Then we got the board. We bought the board, as I said, it's a local board. So which we planted, then use organic fertilizer.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we use organic fertilizer to support it so that it can come out very well.
How many times do you have to apply the fertilizer?
No, the organic fertilizer, like poultry domes, that one is at the beginning, at the initial stage. Then later, after preparing the land, they will use the organic fertilizer to plant it. So after it has grown to some certain level, let's say to 2 or 3 months, they will now apply organic fertilizer, which is your NPK.
Okay. I noticed it seems these things are measured from each other. Is it why the measurement? Why the spacing?
Yeah, the spacing is for the tractor to pass. In case if you want to do our weeding. Okay. Yeah, so tractor will just pass through and do some slashing to slash the ground. So the spacing we have is a normal spacing which tractor can able to go in.
So what's the essence of it? Is it to make plantain chips?
Yes, the essence of this one is to make plantain elubo, which is a plantain flour. Yes, but we call it plantain elubo. So which is very good for those diabetes patients.
Oh, good.
Yes, very good for those diabetes patients. Yeah. So the main purpose of we having this sector is to produce which is plantain flour. Which
is about 20 hectares.
Yes, of plantain.
If one wants to start this, what should be the one's budget?
If you want to start, maybe one can start like an acre. So an acre, all you just need is for you to get your land. So maybe if you want to rent land, you can get a land between 5,000 to 6,000
per year.
per year in an
good.
acre. Then the board is very cheap. One board can be sold for 15 naira or 100 naira.
Okay, if let's say it's 100 naira, how many boards will one need for an hectare?
Yes, what you need in the board you need in an acre is up to, let's say, 5,000 board, between 4,000 to 5,000 board.
Okay.
So that's what you need. Then immediately you plant it. When you grow and you have your harvest, one bunch of plantain is sold for, let's say, 5, 6, 700, depending on the size.
How many harvests in a year?
It's just one harvest in the year, and immediately you harvest it, you have to cut it to bring it down. Then another one we spring out again. So that one we spring out here for the next season.
So what about labor?
Yeah, the labor we have here is just 2 labor. We have 2 labor here that is maintaining the plantain plantation for us. Yeah, but normally at times we use tractor in doing we just slash the grass.
You're talking about the health, the health benefit that is good for diabetes. Can you please expatiate more on the health benefits?
Yes. This plantain flour does not contain starch in a way. The starch content is very low. Yeah, it's very, very low. I don't think. So that's why you see that those diabetes patients, the doctor will always recommend it for them. Not only diabetes patients, even for we. You understand? In order for we to reduce our starch level in our body, at times when you eat rice, eba, you need to at times eat plantain. At least plantain beans, protein for some time in order the starch level in your body, those ones that have been stored, will be reduced. So plantain is very, very important. Very, very important. So that will make you for your body to avoid the stage of getting to diabetes.
But plantain is pretty expensive in the market. So is it a meal for the rich?
Plantain is made for both rich and for the poor.
So why is it expensive?
Yeah, it depends on the season. It depends on the season. So, I think we are almost through the season. If it is like last 2 months, which we're already in the season, it's very cheap. With your 200, 300 naira, 500, you will get a bunch of plantain.
Is your plantation a seasonal one, or you make use of irrigation?
No,
it's seasonal.
It's seasonal. We don't make use of irrigation. It's seasonal.
So what other benefits can we get from a plantation like this?
Yes, the leaves of this plantain.
Okay.
The leaves is very important to snail. Yeah, the snail normally eats the leaves. So.
Okay. Are you saying it's good for? It attracts snail.
Yes.
Or it's good for a snail farmer.
It's good for a snail farmer.
Okay.
A full-time snail farmer. Okay. It's good for a snail farmer. If you can have this type of plantation, you can also have your snail farming inside the plantation. Yeah, because this is their food. So all you need to do is just cut the dry ones and put it inside the snail house. So the snail that are there will use it as their food. So as you can farm this plantain is the leaf of the plantain is very important. So if you want to not even to the snail alone, if you have others like goats, sheep, and the rest. So it's very important too for them. So it serves as food for them too. So, and again, you can also use it to make chips, which is the plantain itself. The fruit, you can use it to make chips. Then you can use it to make chips.
Okay. Mr. Gbayo, you said earlier on that I was asking why is it expensive? Plantain, you said is seasonal. What about the flour? Okay. That is not seasonal. Why is that also expensive?
Yes, the flour is very expensive because the material you will need, which is those implements you will need, the machine you will need to produce the flour, they are very expensive in the market.
Are they imported?
No, they are not. They can be constructed locally.
So why is it expensive?
Yes, because since is the material of those machines, which if you want to construct it, some of the machines are very expensive. So for you to get your plantain in the farm and process it to that extent of flour which is a lubo plantain. So that's why it's expensive, because of those machines you use in processing it. It is those machines that are expensive. That's why the plantain flour is very, very expensive. So if those machines now, for example, are not too expensive, the plantain flour will not be affordable. And if not the machine, majority of farmers will prefer going to the plantain flour. It's because of this machine used in producing the flour that is more expensive. So they will just prefer cutting it like this when it's due for harvesting. And they will just cut the bunch and take it to the local market.
Okay, let me now ask a question. For someone that is very young, someone that doesn't have any capital and wants to go into this, like how much? Okay, let's say I have a land, 1 acre.
Okay.
I have a land to cultivate this. What should be my budget?
Yes, you see, plantain farming is very lucrative. The reason why plantain farming is very lucrative is that you can start with this very small capital. As I said before, with 100 naira, 50 naira, you can get a board. So when you have a land of up to, let's say, 1 acre of land, then after this first year, the next year you will not purchase a board again. You are not going to buy any board again, because the moment it start germinating, immediately it produce. As you cut it, another one will spring up again. So that shows that you will not buy board again. That particular money has been saved. Then the more it the more it's spent, which is if you spend it 1, 2 years, 3 years, so the more better it will be. Because why? Many of those plantain will be springing out from the board, from the soil. So your first year you might have 1 harvest, which is on 1 stand, but in the next 2 to 3 years you can be having 2 harvests in just 1 stand. So that is one of the advantage of it. So you find out that at the end of maybe 2 to 3 years, the money you will later recover from your farm will be times even 10 of what you put in.
So what you've said, my capital in less than 2-3 years,
yes, you will get your capital short times 10.
Times
10, because you are not buying anything again. No, that time the first time, remember, even when you buy the board, you transport it. There will be no transportation.
Okay.
Yes.
Even weeding will reduce.
Yes.
It will have form shade.
Yes, weeding will reduce because the tree will form shade. And so just for you to start harvesting, just start harvesting as you maintain the farm.
And there are always off-takers. There's always demand.
Sure. They are everywhere, both local and
industrial. So are you meeting demand?
We cannot meet demand. We cannot meet demand at all, because even in local market, you just take your plantain there, instantly they will just rush it. And those factories too that normally use it to produce flour, which is a lubo, then too they are looking for it seriously.
So selling it is not the problem.
Selling it is not the problem at all. And even if it gets to a stage that the thing is too much in the market, when it gets ripe, you cannot change it to chips, which is plantain chips. You fry it and change to plantain chips, which you can.
That lasts longer on shelf.
That's longer on shelf. Thank you.
All right, nice chatting with you, Mr. Gbayo. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
That's all we have for you on the interactive segment this week. You're welcome back. I'm sure you must have learned 1 or 2 things from the value chain of the plantation. Join us same time next week for another fresh episode of Business School on Air. For inquiries, you can call the number showing on your screen or send your email to businessschoolonair@gmail.com. My name is Tokumbo Debi. Thank you and bye for now.